This is the final professional communication project by Mariah Thompson. Module 1, Takeaway. In this module, I had to read the professional communication chapter. I learned about all of the different correct ways on how to communicate in the workplace, such as how to correctly format an email or even answer a phone call. I also had to complete a project status report. Application. I believe that I can use what I learned in this module every day in my professional life because I am constantly having to communicate with the students, their parents, my coworkers, and people from the central office. We communicate through emails, phone, and face-to-face. Module 2, Takeaway. In this module, we reviewed basic grammar. I had a review of all the basic parts of speech. Some included were nouns, pronouns, verbs, adverbs, adjectives, and semicolons. I had to write an essay in this module also about what I found to be the most important to me from the basic grammar reading. Application. It is important to use basic grammar. I use it every day, all day. It is important to know how to correctly use it, especially in the workplace. Module 3, Takeaway. My greatest takeaway for this module will have to be the workplace communication writing assignment. This module was all about communication in the workplace. The assignment gave me the opportunity to talk about a time that I had to deal with conflict at my job. Application. I deal with conflict on my job almost every week with my coworkers and sometimes parents. It is very important to know how to deal with conflicts when they come about. Module 4, Takeaway. This module was all about the teamwork in the workplace. I learned that there are so many effective ways to work together in a team while at work. In this module, a group project was also introduced. Application. I have to work with another lady in my classroom, which she is my coworker. My co-teacher, I'm sorry. We work as a team every day. It is very important that we share the load of work that we have to do every day so that we won't be worn out by the end of the day. Module 5, Takeaway. Module 5 was all about writing in the workplace. I was required to write the three main forms of business communication. I had to write a formal business letter, a company memo, and a formal business email. A lot of this information I did not know and was all new to me. I learned a lot in this module. Application. I have to always send emails to my boss and other people who work at the central office, so knowing how to send a professional email is really beneficial for me. Module 6, Takeaway. Understanding the effects of technology in the workplace is what I learned about in this module. This was one of my favorite learning modules because I had the chance to create a PowerPoint on a subject that I wanted to. I love to be creative, and creating PowerPoints is one of my favorite things to do. Application. Technology plays a major role in today's society, especially in the workplace. It is constantly changing and can be a little frightening for some people. At my job, we always have a day during our pre-service about any new documents or that have changed or in the technology that we have used. Midterm. Uh, Takeaway. The midterm was the PowerPoint presentation that was formed through the group project. My group and I decided to do our project on workplace relationship. I was the group leader and made sure that all the group members were on task and fully understood their role in the project. Application. At my job, we often have to work in groups or small committees, as we call them, to come up with ideas and plans for upcoming events that we will have at the school. The group project gave me a chance to work with others. It was the second time that I've had to do this since going to college, but it was fun. Module 7, Takeaway. During this module, I had to present my first speech. I had to give a speech on what I thought my greatest accomplishment in life has been, along with a visual. I chose to talk about making the Dean's List last semester, which was my first year back in school after sitting out for 3 years. Application. I have a very hard time with speaking in front of people. This speech was hard for me, but I eventually got through it. I don't really have to speak in front of a crowd at work, but I have to talk once a year at the end of the year program, so this can definitely help me with that. Module 8. Creating a business meeting agenda was one of the assignments that I had to complete in this module. This is the first time that I ever had to create one. I learned how to properly format an agenda and what kind of information needed to be included in it. Application, I'm sorry. At my job, my boss holds a weekly staff meeting. After each meeting, she gives us a copy of the meeting agenda. Module 9. Takeaway. This module, I had to create a cover letter, create a resume, and perform my second speech. I have had to create both cover letter and resume before, so that wasn't new for me, but I did learn how to properly format them both. Application. I plan to be an elementary teacher one day, and I know that I will have to have a resume to apply for a job. This module allowed me to create a resume that I will have on hand and have for whenever that time comes. Module 10. Takeaway. In this module, I had to write an article review on the article, The Globalization of Communication. I also had to critique two of my peers' speeches from Module 9. The article review was very interesting. The article provided me with a lot of new information. Critiquing one of my peers' speech and creating a review for the article was basically the same to me. I know how to accept criticism, but I never really had to critique someone else's work. Module 11. Takeaway. In this module, I had to present my last speech. I had to present a persuasive speech. I chose to do my speech on why parents should let their child attend Head Start. Application. This was the longest speech that I had to do this semester. It was very challenging, but I did it. This speech, along with the other two, has really helped me with my fear of speaking in public. Module 12. Takeaway. This module was pretty fun. I learned about bias in the communication. I read an article on how stereotypes help people to communicate, and wrote about what I thought was the most important to me. I got to choose a picture that I thought represented what I learned. I used a picture of my two boys because they remind me of how a lack of knowledge can make a conversation turn bad, or in their case, a fight. I deal with stereotyping and bias all the time at my job. Many people think of us as babysitters and not teachers. The end.